What's up guys, back in today with another reaction to the Berserk manga. This time I'll be reacting to the chapters Birth and Afterglow of the Right Eye. Again, expecting to do quite a bit of censoring after I record this video today, as I do imagine we've got the kind of Casca and Griffith scenes to come up today, which going to be quite ruthless. After this, it does look like they do go by quite quickly, so again, expecting a lot of censoring because I imagine it's going to be a lot of ruthlessness in a quite short span of time. But last episode was pretty good. Again, didn't well, we saw a few characters die, unfortunately. Gaston, we saw Pippin and his body, unfortunately, kind of getting puppeteered about, which was again pretty disgusting. But loved the artwork last episode. That was my main takeaway. So many awesome drawings last time out. Again, didn't massively progress the story, but again, expecting that to happen quite a bit in today's episode. Do let me know what you guys think of this one down in the comment section though. Leave a like on the video if you guys did like this video, and subscribe to the channel if you do want to keep up to date with my Berserk reactions. And let's get right into it, guys. I believe, yeah, this is where we'll be starting off today. Birth. So I think we ended off with Griffith literally kind of being birthed last episode, didn't we? All the monsters kind of gathering and looking up at the hand. The birth. You know what? That looks a little bit like oh, I forget the name of it. Is it Tusk? I think it's Tusk, isn't it? The kind of creation from Tusk. I haven't actually seen the movie, but I've seen the monster. If it even is a monster, it looks like a monster. It's a man mixed with a walrus, I think. Looks quite a bit like that. Yeah, some cool monster designs as usual. The fifth blessed king. The new demon king. Guts took an absolute beating as well, by the way. Last chapter. An absolute beating. Not the worst of it yet. He hasn't had his hand ripped off yet, or his eye kind of gouged out quite yet, so still got that to look forward to, of course. I didn't even notice him there, to be honest. It just looks like another one of these faces on the floor. It's just the scale of him right here in comparison to the monsters, but yeah, obviously there's his arm in there. I like the shot of him right here though. Looks pretty cool. A lot of blood, a lot of cuts. Oh shit, this is cool. Void slain. Was it Slan? Oh, I thought it was Slain, kind of like slain, like slaying someone. Ubik, Conrad. Conrad's a way too normal name for these guys. Do you know what name I always find quite funny in horror movies? Kincaid. Kincaid. There's a Kincaid in quite a few horror movies, but I've never met anyone online called Kincaid or in person. I've never heard that name anywhere. But like, I haven't even seen it in any other movie, like comedies or romances or anything. I've only ever heard that name in horror movies, Kincaid. Let me know if you guys have thought about that as well. Probably not, but I just noticed that the other day. I was going through like Scream and Nightmare on Elm Street and some other movies, and it's like, this Kincaid name is... I've only ever heard this name in horror movies. Why is that? Maybe it's quite synonymous with horror or something. Maybe it's got like a hidden meaning behind it. Who knows? Yeah, I like this. Shot here of all the god hands, all lined up next to each other. Though art our extension. I'm going to make sure to try and read all the lines properly as well, because sometimes, as you guys have seen with me reading some of these god hand lines, I get a little confused sometimes. Thou art our extension, our new kinsman, to wear the mantle of evil. There is that darkness, that evil. And that's where we ended off last episode, this shot right here. The wings of darkness, Femto. I do imagine all these names have a kind of meaning behind them as well. Not going to look into it just yet. Might be some spoilers or something, for example, but I do like this shot here of him like looking like an egg. All these veins kind of pumping in the death and darkness surrounding him from his fallen soldiers. There's his wings dripping off. Again, it does very much resemble like almost like a chick being birthed from an egg a little bit. Obviously, quite a bit more ruthless here, but some cool shots. The wings of darkness, Memento. I really like this shot as well. Guts looking up, disbelief, and there's Griffith like screaming upwards. It's just a sick shot, isn't it? The birth of evil. We've got a big shot coming up next. But this full page one here is pretty awesome as well, isn't it? Again, all the darkness leading into Griffith right here and surrounding him. All these pain faces around him. Oh, it's quite poetic, isn't it? With all these faces kind of around him like this. It's almost like his dream is kind of encapsulating him a little bit. The darkness of all his soldiers' deaths and such surrounding him, but also all the kind of sacrifices he made along the way, alongside those soldiers, kind of pained and being now the walls that surround him in this kind of kingdom almost. He has kind of reached a point where his potential can get that, if you know what I'm saying. He now could go to Earth and have a castle of his own if he wanted, a castle on the high ground. Very easily. That's a cool shot, isn't it? Again, I really don't envy the mangaka and his amount of faces he has to draw. I haven't mentioned this before, but again, look how many faces he has to draw in a lot of these shots. All pained expressions. Oh, how did you guys tell me to read this? I think you guys did say that it is like from right to left. Unless if it's a full page, you just take it as it's one page. Well, I say full page, it's just 2 pages, isn't it? When it's 2 pages like this, take it as one full page and then read from the top right, like you normally would as 1 page. I think is how you told me to do it. Seems right. I mean, there's no text here, so that's lucky for me, but I did kind of misinterpret one earlier on, didn't I? Is that the guy from the first chapter right there? Probably. This one looks quite cute, actually. Yeah, no, I do find that some of these guys actually look quite cute. One or two. This guy very much. This guy looks like the blob. Got a blob. There he is, spreading his wings. That's a sick shot. Jesus. Again, some awesome monster designs at the back here, but now coming face to face. Look at those feet as well by Griffith. If it isn't clear he's not human, I think it was quite clear with the screaming shot up here, where you can like fully see like inside of his mouth and just know you'd kind of think there might be, if you're looking at him head on, you might think that it's just like an armor helmet, just like how he has been wearing, but he's opened that up and there's nothing in there. You can kind of, I kind of thought it might be like a human kind of almost face or body within this, but I don't know. I don't know how it works exactly. But he has descended upon Griffith right here. Guts, sorry. Yeah, I'm always messing them up. Again, you don't need to do this, but it just adds a little bit to the scene. It's almost like they're kind of doing that face towards him. That was a sick shot again, though, isn't it? Very sleek looking God Hand, isn't he? They're all quite sleek looking, actually, except for the Conrad. All quite sharp looking, and this is the shot we get at the start of this novel. At the start of this manga, I think. Griffith looking like this. Again, it does look like he's like human in there, but again, when he was birthed and we saw his kind of mouth gape open, it really didn't look human. It's quite interesting. I think that fits perfectly though, doesn't it? Griffith being like looking very human at some points, even in his kind of monster form, but also looking like a monster. It kind of speaks to his story so far, doesn't it? Him being sometimes very relatable and human, and sometimes being an absolute monster. But yeah, this shot here is cool as hell, isn't it? It's like staring into your soul. Those are piercing eyes right there. Those are piercing eyes. But yeah, we have seen that one before, of course. Griffith? And we are leading up to the horrible moments, by the way. We are leading up to the horrible moments. Really not excited to see these again. But it was probably my least favourite part of this arc, but in a good way, if you know what I'm saying, in a good bad way. Sound of silence is the sound effect used here. As all the monsters just look upon him. Sometimes the zoom on this is really annoying to use. There we go. Great. And here she comes. Look at that face. The difference in expression is crazy, isn't it? Even in the scene where Guts isn't really even doing too much expression. Like, all humans have an expression at all times, you know what I'm saying? Whereas Griffith here, just nothing. If anything, it just kind of seems like it's a kind of revenge face, but not like a satisfactory revenge face, just a pure cold revenge face. Thinking about perhaps all those moments he saw while being a zombie, pretty much being a mummy, just watching on Guts and Casca as he brings her down. Oh wow, I really haven't even censored that. Well, I guess they kind of have, but they haven't really made a massive effort to censor her down below. Puts her hand on his hand on her face. And Femto looks so creepy, doesn't he? It's just his eyes more than anything. His eyes are so piercing, so big, and just so emotionless, aren't they? I think that is the scariest part about Griffith's new design, in my opinion. Those eyes. Though he's always had kind of like piercing eyes. As we've seen throughout the series, he's had some death stares and a half. But it's quite funny that human part remains his scariest part when he's a monster. I think a lot of these pages are going to be almost fully censored for you guys. Apologies. Well, not my fault. It's just how it is, isn't it? Unfortunately, pretty much this whole page is going to be censored. But of course, hopefully, again, guys have seen this before, or you're kind of reading along at the same time. As he grabs a bit of boob. I imagine he gets like no satisfaction from that as well now. I'm not sure what these guys get satisfaction from. I can't imagine he'd get any satisfaction other than the fact that this is a little bit of revenge against Guts, or hurting Guts a little bit here. Yeah, I don't actually think he'd get any sexual pleasure or anything out of this. Yeah, he grabs the boob and kind of wakes her up a little bit. What was it I wanted to zoom in on? Oh yeah, this. He's kind of looking away a little bit here, probably looking at Guts' reaction. And he looks back at Casca as she twitches and kind of wakes up a little bit. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna continue with that. That's the last time I say Then again, just looking at Guts, not touching her. She's like fully awake now. Guts trying to. His arm's still stuck in here, still bleeding out heavily. Yeah, it looks like he's trying to tug it out. Grind. Okay, you get a page where you get to see guys. Put down again. He looks absolutely massive here, doesn't he? That arm. Grind. Oh, so yeah, I imagine you just got to go like this. Fuck doing that, by the way. Just got to grind your arm against the teeth till nothing. God damn. Do you know what? This might sound really stupid to some of you guys, especially you guys that are informed. But I've always wondered, people that bleed out a lot, does that blood gets replaced, doesn't it? Because imagine, I think you've got like 6 liters of blood in your body, and if you bleed out 2 liters, obviously that's very bad. Might not even survive. Again, I'm not really sure how it works, but if you bleed out 2 liters, but you do survive, would that blood, if you didn't get any medical treatment, would that blood naturally kind of replace itself within yourself? Or is it that you do have to go to hospital and get that replaced by the doctors? Or if you do go to hospital, do they just let that blood replace itself within your own body? Again, I've always kind of wondered about that, to be honest with you. When I've seen big action sequences with a lot of blood, for example, I've always kind of wondered about people like bleeding out, fainting, and then kind of waking up in hospital later. It's like, did the hospital give you more blood, or do you naturally produce more blood? Or again, I don't know. That's what I'm asking. Might sound a bit silly to some of you guys, perhaps, but just a lot of blood to lose. That's my point here. A lot of blood to lose right here, and I can't imagine Guts is going to the hospital and getting his blood replaced. So I don't think that's an option here. Perhaps it does just kind of naturally just kind of create more blood. Not sure how. I did study science of like the anatomy and body when I done my sports science course, and I didn't get taught about that there. I think that's a kind of more medical side to anatomy and such, isn't it? And how your body works. Like more about kind of muscles being kind of replaced and tissue being destroyed and such, and rebuilding itself, or more along those lines than again the kind of medicinal stuff. But tangent over. I thought I'd have a tangent with an actual shot on screen while I can. There's no censoring. As again, Griffith's just staring at Guts. But that face really is a horrible, horrible face right there, isn't it? Pained, angry, sad as well. Get a lot of expression from that face right here. He's all over her, man. He's all over her. Oh, it looks like her mark is bleeding right there. Grabs a boob, grabs some ass. And he puts his hand down there. Oh wow, what a shot this is. His hand's down there and then Guts is right underneath it. Do you know what really scared me one time? When I first had I think it was one of my first ever parties I went to. First time I ever probably kissed a girl and then got into bed and such. And the movie, everyone, because it wasn't really crowded, but it was quite crowded. So this big couch with quite a few kind of couples around and such. And the movie that was on was I can't remember what it's called. It was a movie about a woman that had a vagina that would eat stuff. Sounds so weird, I know. I can't remember what it's called. It's I don't think it's one of the greatest movies ever or anything. I think it's very much like a B movie, but I want to say Jaws, but obviously it's not Jaws. Jaws is a classic. But yeah, I can't remember what it was called. Teeth, I think it might have been called. But yeah, about a woman that had kind of teeth and mouth where her vagina is, and anything that kind of went down there or in there got ate. So yeah, that did kind of put me off quite a bit. But I'm a horror movie guy, so probably put everyone else off quite a bit more. Luckily enough, that was ages ago. But yeah, it kind of reminds me of that shot right here. And just this pitch black face of Guts right here. Again, I'm not sure how much this you'll see. Probably not much, or if anything, because when I do censor now, whereas I'd usually before this I'd put a kind of red line across. That doesn't work because if I scroll up, it obviously just does nothing. So I then pretty much just censor downwards with these kind of blocks on the YouTube editor now. And by doing that, it probably censors quite a fair bit of this page. But again, I'm hoping you guys have either seen this before or kind of reading on a separate kind of device, perhaps, hopefully. And I do try and cater to those that don't do that as well. But yeah, I can't cater to everyone. But yeah, for example, I'll be cutting out like this left bit here with both the nipples and then this little bit in the middle. So you'll still be able to see like 30% of the page, but you probably won't see the full expression of Guts right here. Again, another very pained face, just surrounded by darkness as well. And I really like the use of darkness in the mangaka uses in this. It's always pretty much perfectly kind of placed, if you know what I'm saying. There's never a shot with just pure darkness around something that doesn't make sense. Well, there's no background in general that doesn't make sense, to be honest with you, in this. Like even something like this with the monsters behind Guts, like they're there for a reason. They're there to show the kind of monstrosity of this scene right here as well, and the looming kind of danger behind them as well, not just this horribleness in front that we're witnessing right here. As Casca is fully awake and screaming right here. Oh god, that's disgusting. Oh, that's amazing, this shot here. Look how simple this shot right here is. Yeah, how disgusting it is as well. Like, you know where that is. You know where that finger is. That's brilliantly disgusting, isn't it? So simple, but very effective right here. Actually see him get it ready there, don't we? Horrible, horrible spiky as well. Imagine that can't be nice. Yeah, that is again so simple yet so gross. Wrong. As he looks at Casca in the face now, stares at her. Those just horrible eyes, disgusting eyes, aren't they? I hate those eyes. So scary. Grit, grit, and he kisses her. Eyes open. I always find that a bit. Well, I don't know. I've never really known what to thought about people that keep their eyes open when they kiss. So I do think it's a strange thing to do because not many people do that, and it almost seems almost a little disingenuous, almost a little bit when people keep their eyes open. But also when people close their eyes, I do think sometimes they're thinking about someone else / dreaming of someone else perhaps during that moment. Or perhaps they're just scared of the moment. Who knows? But I've never really known what to think about either, keeping your eyes open or closing them, to be honest with you. I mean, it's never really been a massive thought in my mind, but it has been a thought in my mind at times. Especially when I see people kiss with their eyes open. I find it a little bit weird, but again, is it weirder to actually kiss with your eyes closed? Because again, you're actually perhaps dreaming or thinking of someone else. Who knows? Yeah, I just find it creepy personally. Not saying I wouldn't do it though. I don't think I've ever done it, but I'll give it a try, I guess. Yeah, just a horrible kiss right here. Oh yeah, another non-censored page. So you get the point of view of Guts here again. And look at those teeth. Might break his own teeth. Imagine that. Imagine he got so mad, he was gritting so hard, his teeth broke on themselves. Damn. Ugh, that gives me chills thinking about that. as he tries cutting the monster holding him back. And breaks his knife. Oh, sword. Gacking. Squeeze. And he just plunges it into his own arm. Maybe a bit too high up as well. Although maybe that's a strategic thing. Otherwise, I don't think Guts is thinking it's strategic now at all. But there probably is a best place to cut your arm, isn't there? Somewhere where there's not a lot of veins, perhaps, or I can't remember where there is somewhere on the leg that is very good that I've heard of cutting off if you need to, but I'm not sure about the arm. He has gone very high up here though, hasn't he? So those creepy eyes and just stare at us. But funny enough, do you reckon that just like this pain from the cutting of the arm here, do you reckon all this other pain just around him just kind of overrides it a little bit perhaps? Probably. The adrenaline right now must be through the roof in this whole situation for everyone involved. Good little fucking... Oh my god. Hey, does Void always look like that? I don't think so. He kind of has his mouth like that, but it actually looks like he's got a massive fucking smile on his face. Horrible ass, creepy ass smile. No, it's not scrolling. Oh, we're frozen. Lovely. Apologies, guys. But yeah, look, looks like I've never seen Void look like that. Interesting. So he's got a horrible ass, cheesy ass grin on his face. I want to go back and watch. Obviously, I don't want to go back and watch the disgustingness, but I want to see that smile. If it is a smile. It looks like one though, doesn't it? I want to skip the boobs though. Okay, that was actually pretty perfect right there, wasn't it? Oh, it looks like Slane's getting a little bit turned on. I think it's because his eyes are kind of squinting a little bit. I think he has got a bit of a smile on. Again, it's hard to tell because his kind of mouth is always exposed, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? It's like always I imagine it's quite hard to smile, but if anything, I think that very much is the smile. Looks like he's enjoying it. Boyd, good for him, I guess. Good for him and his double-sized brain. Yeah, it looks like Slane is enjoying herself a little bit as well. Touching herself. Oh, with a little love heart. They're all enjoying it, looks like. What are they enjoying? Are they enjoying seeing Guts do this to himself? Or are they enjoying the scene of Casca and Griffith? Maybe it's both. That is one cheesy ass smile though. I love that. I like this shot a lot. As Guts is almost done ripping off his own arm, slashing away at it. And there's that shot. There's that fucking shot. Which I got spoiled a little bit just because I had to reload, unfortunately. But I love this shot a lot. The pain, I think more than the pain, it's that overriding anger, isn't it? Again, that adrenaline mixed with that pure anger and disgust and furiousness. I don't think there's a word strong enough to use for this image, is there? Furious. Probably as close as I'll get. Just kind of reminds me of like a scene of like just a revenge stabbing of someone, but he's just stabbing himself. Like he's doing to himself here what he'd love to do to Griffith right now, probably. Just absolutely carving away at himself. That probably looks a bit wrong. I'm gonna stop doing that. Yeah. Wow. Wow. No, not November. What they said right there. No, not November. Really grabbing that booty, isn't he? Griffith. As it just continues to go on. That's the thing about this, isn't it? It just continues. It just goes on and on and on. It's a disgusting scene. It feels like that way anyway, doesn't it? This is just the first chapter we've got today, by the way. Yeah, half hour. About a little bit longer than I'd usually spend. But yeah. Feels like we've been reading this for an hour. This disgustingness. No. It's not the first time he's heard that. Griffith. I think that very much does kind of relate to this a little bit, doesn't it? That no right there, like with what is it, Charlotte? I think her name is. Charlotte said no as well, but some people saw that as still being all right, and I don't think it was. But the two very different situations. They both said no, but some people think one was okay. Doesn't quite make sense to me. Both were wrong in my opinion. Of course, this one's a little bit more. Well, is it a little bit more wrong? Is there a difference between the two? Not really. So I guess it's not more wrong, but I mean, just the surrounding events in general is a bit more wrong. What even is happening here? I don't even think I want to know. But that's a horrible expression right there. What is going on here? I don't understand. I don't think I want to. I'm not even gonna. Yeah, I don't even think I want to understand. God damn. They're all just stabbing away. And oh, that is a fucking sick shot. As I think we've reached the climax, it perhaps looks like. Casca crying. Yeah, this is a sick shot. Bloody hell. All those tendons. Are they tendons? All that kind of connective tissue. Big veins bursting out. Blood. God damn, that is a brutal shot. That is a brutal shot. See, this is something I'd love to see animated in 2023. A shot of Guts' arm getting slashed off by himself and all that. A slow shot, a painful shot. Sounds very sadistic, but a slow and like painful shot of his arm getting kind of cut off and slow motion just kind of just falling to the ground, and you see all the connective tissue and such just kind of falling apart and just hanging, dangling off his arm and such. That'd be such a disgusting shot, and you could show so much detail in that shot as well. It'd be so awesome, but it would take a lot of detail and a lot of effort to do. Which is again why I understand why they're not adapting it. It's just too hard for you guys. I understand. all you animators, I know this is just too hard for you to do. So yeah, I guess that's why they're not doing it. That would be awesome to see, though, wouldn't it? It would be awesome to see a live action version, but again, I think that's impossible, especially considering horror movies are at their best when it's practical effects. There's no way you can. They do CGI for Berserk movies, and there's no chance anyone's watching, I don't think. As much as CG has got better, it's just in horror, it's just different, isn't it? You got to use practical effects. Yeah, so they're doing these scenes with this like shining, like pure white light during these things, and again, I don't really want to know what they're trying to kind of say with that, to be honest with you. I don't understand it that much. Like, what's going on? Maybe it's again because I don't really want to understand it, but I don't know. I can't put into words what this means. Apologies. Damn. Another classic shot here. See, like something like this, just awesome, isn't it? See the vein right there, like going all the way through his arm, and then the actual kind of exposed vein leaking all that blood. Oh, that's it, gross, isn't it? The connective tissue again, just like dangling off, and little parts of it there just falling away. Absolutely gross, but so awesome, so awesome. And there's the bone as well. Horrible, horrible bone right there. It's like two. Oh, it's brilliant. Disgustingly awesome, isn't it? Again, I can't believe it. Oh, this is the end of. Nice. Yeah, I can't believe we're still in the first chapter. I think that just shows how much of a toll this has on you. How disgusting and ruthless and dark it is. It feels like it was 2 chapters in one. Griff. I haven't had to say much, have I? Well, I've said a lot actually, but I haven't had to say too many lines. Griffith! Obviously, it probably sound a bit more ruthless than that. I'm not going to scream and shout though. My voice, got to kind of save my voice for tomorrow. I've got a football match. And I do end up shouting quite a lot. But yeah, this is another sick shot. Going to be very hard picking a, well, it might not be actually that hard picking a thumbnail for today, because half of it probably can't be used as a thumbnail, but a few of these shots of Guts is going to be very hard to pick which one is going to be the thumbnail. Probably this one for now. I love this shot again. Nothing, just adrenaline and frustration and revenge filled and just anger. Every kind of dark emotion you can think of is like kind of filling Guts right here. Awesome. Pure white eyes. You know, you're possessed by rage. Like I say about the songs I listen to and such, I don't really listen to too much modern music because there doesn't feel like there's that much emotion and such put into them. I feel like that's the same with anime and movies and such, to be honest with you. Like, it doesn't invoke a massive emotion in me in some way, kind of sadness, happiness, laughter, tears. It usually doesn't become one of my favourites, but again, there's just so much poured into this. It's just, how could you not like this stuff? Yeah, that's a shot and a half right there. And that is the end of Birth. God damn, that was a chapter and a half. Again, going to do a lot of censoring for this chapter. Hopefully, the next chapter won't be quite as it wasn't quite as nudity filled and such as I was thinking. It was very much so, probably at least a third of it. But I did think I'd have to censor almost every panel. Luckily enough, I haven't had to. But yeah, let's get into the second chapter, Afterglow of the Right Eye. So this is talking about Guts' right eye, I do imagine. As we continue on this act, which will hopefully be over soon. Oh, fuck! Oh, is that a... Yeah. Oh, she's done it before, actually. Yeah, she had sex with Guts, didn't she? So that's not her cherry popping or whatever it's called. I think that's just her period blood, perhaps. Or maybe it's just from the disgusting finger he put in earlier with the spike. Or maybe it's just too big. Who knows? Either way, it's bleeding and it's gross. What is this? Oh, it's Guts' arm. Oh, we get another sick shot of it. See, this is what I like to see. Like I said, we need if this ever got animated, again, we need a slow motion shot of the details of this, because it's awesome seeing details of stuff like this. If you can stomach it. It's like it's just dangling by a thread. That would be so sick to see. Just like you cut it off, but it's just like dangling off a little bit. It just needs to rip that last little tissue out. Vulch. And then he just chucks his arm at Griffith. That'd be awesome. Griffith! Afterglow of the Right Eye. Oh boy. That shot of Guts there is sick, doesn't it? Again, the detail in the drawing is just amazing. I love that shot of Guts right there. Bring it, bastard. And then the shot of him right here as well in the center of the page. His half cut off arm just moving forward along with his body. Almost looks a bit like a sawn off shotgun. But obviously it isn't. But with like the two holes, if you know what I'm saying, it kind of looks a little bit like one. The steams forward. I've mentioned this before. I love the kind of movement shots like this of like everything kind of flowing backwards. So you very much get to feel the boom of the character kind of moving. Even though again, that's one of my main issues going into like reading manga, about the kind of lack of imagination of actually seeing the things happen rather than just seeing the image kind of still. I find it quite hard, especially with just like reading like light novels and books, for example. I find it quite hard, as I do find I'm a quite imaginative and kind of inventory person, but I've always struggled to actually kind of recreate the image in my head of the kind of story. So with manga, it actually does half that job for you, which is awesome, and even more so when it does stuff like this, with again the characters actually kind of having this movement to their drawing, so you can actually really imagine it happening. Yeah, again, especially with books and again light novels, I do find it hard to actually kind of create in my head what the story is written down. I think that's quite intriguing that that's the case. Again, I'm quite the imaginatory person, so you'd think an imaginatory person would be able to do that quite easily. Yeah, I've never really got along with books that much. So Guts are flying forward. So much blood. I was talking about the blood loss earlier. How much blood must he have lost right here? Bloody hell. Amazing you don't die. The monsters hold him down. That's a lot of weight. I imagine he's holding right there. All these monsters' hands. His head just pushed down. And it's still going on. Oh man. Still going on. So just getting a small peak right there. Yeah, not too many, not too much text to read today, is there? Jesus Christ. Look at him. It looks like a kind of torn up newspaper. Just kind of flattened on the ground. Jesus Christ. Such beauty. Of course. Such beauty. It touches me. These fucking guys. And these guys really do remind me of the fucking Cenobites. Such beauty. It touches me. Love, hatred, pain, pleasure, life, death. All are there. Well, she's actually fucking crying. Wow. I mean, I understand crying, but she's crying for the wrong reasons. Fucking hell. This is to be human. I guess she's kind of right though, to be honest. She does make a bit of a point here. This is almost kind of humanity encapsulated in a way. In a dark way. Very dark way. This is to be human. This is to be evil. Now let's head up to a watch. Making him watch this. And again, look at those fucking eyes. Revenge is in those eyes right there. That's some nasty shots right here. Some nasty shots. More nasty. I hope you guys don't mind. Oh yeah, I hope you guys don't mind. I'm just going by the nasty. More. I don't want to watch all this nastiness. I guess I'll take a bit more than a minute, but you can actually see it's kind of dong a little bit in these ones. I think the Japanese don't. I think even in their kind of sexual videos, I think they kind of censor that, don't they? So hence why we haven't seen that all this time. But you can actually kind of quite see it here. And fucking disgusting. Please let this be over with soon. Please. No, I'm not even mad if you guys kind of skip this video. I can understand why some of you would. This stuff's absolutely disgusting. The only shots I'm actually able to look at more than a couple seconds for are the ones of just like Guts, just kind of staring on, and even then it's actually just quite painful because all of them are just filled with so much pain and anger and again so much emotion. It's not nice to watch at all, to say the least. Please just let this be over soon. Oh wow, that's just sad as fuck. Don't look. Well, he hasn't really got much choice, unfortunately. Oh, there's that shot. I think we see it at the end of last chapter, right? Sad, isn't it? Don't look. So is this Griffith's kind of again revenge for seeing all those moments of Casca and Guts together, just what he thinks is the appropriate action for that. Doing this in front of Guts, just like Guts done nothing similar to this in front of Griffith. In fact, most of the time they were just talking in front of Griffith. This is his extreme of that, hey? Crazy, isn't it? I can understand, to be honest. I can understand how that escalated more for Griffith, because obviously he's not able to do anything. It was kind of like a form of torture, I guess, in a way. As slight as it was of just like two people talking, this is the extreme of what he felt with that, I guess. Crazy. Lovely shot right here. Again, oh, yeah, no. Man, every page is one of these disgusting, liquidy, bodily fluid shots. It's just absolutely gross. Absolutely gross. Again, I hope you guys don't mind that. I'm really not spending too much time on these. Oh, that's a shot and a half right there. Fucking hell. Honestly, gladly poke my fucking eyes out so I don't have to watch this anymore. But yeah, that shot of the nail going into his eye. Oh, again, I'd love to see that animated nicely, especially with the way they animate eyes nowadays. That'd look absolutely beautiful. That would. Yeah, absolutely brutal as well. But god damn, just going right into the iris, just slowly, painfully. Honestly, again, I'd rather actually just see blood than watch this. As the tears still just streaming down. Another shake. I think they're finally done. Thank God. Thank God. Thank God that's over. Thank God that is fucking over. That was disgusting. That was disgusting. Some of the most disgusting stuff I've, well, definitely the most disgusting manga I've read. The only manga I've read, but probably, if I include anime, probably the most disgusting stuff I've seen. Again, I've seen a lot of horror movies. I've seen a lot more gore. I've seen a lot of messed up stuff, but something more human to this, isn't there? About that act, that disgustingness. That just again just sits with you for a bit, doesn't it? That's just fucking disgusting. I'm glad I'm watching some Sangatsu no Lion after this to warm my heart up a little bit again. Fucking hell. Again, apologies I didn't really spend too much time on some of those shots, but yeah, I do not feel like it. Looks like that's probably the last thing he ever sees with that eye, which sucks, doesn't it? The last thing you ever see with your right eye is girl you love just laid on the floor after that. Jesus Christ. A lot of censoring today. I'm going to do a lot of censoring. Fucking hell. Wow. Jesus Christ. Again, look at my man Guts right there. Almost looks like a bit of a demon himself, doesn't he? With that face. That expression. Did he say here? Roaring like a wild beast. But thank God that's over. Thank God. Oh shit, here we go. Here we go, boys. Thank God that is over. Here we go. One of my favourite parts of this arc for a good reason. As the moon just shatters. And look at the monsters looking up there. And look at these guys as well. Got their serious faces on, no longer doing those dirty little smirks. No longer looking happy. These guys know what's coming down. All looking up. Skull Knight. Let's go. God damn, I love Skull Knight. Sick shot right here as well. Cracking through the moon, the dark moon. Cracking through that darkness. Love that, by the way. Taking all the darkness out of the moon. So that's reflecting light again. I love his horse's armor as well. Like I say every time, I love that horse armor on him. It's cool as hell, doesn't it? But of course, Skull Knight always looking cool as hell. That's just a shot and a half. Such a cinematic shot. I love the shot of this in the anime movie as well. It's really awesome, but such a cinematic shot right here, isn't it? Again, imagine this being animated nowadays. It'd look absolutely gorgeous. You get this exchange. Sword is cool as hell as well. Like, what are they called? It's like rose, almost like a rose stem. He does like his roses, doesn't he? He's got that kind of rose symbol. Yeah. A kind of beautiful but dangerous kind of thing, I guess. I don't know. Actually, fits pretty well. Skull Knight. Again, his design is very beautiful in a kind of in a weird way, I guess, in my opinion. But again, he's a very spiky guy as well, isn't he? Very sharp, edgy. You know that. Notice that huge fucking smile is gone. Oh, it's even on his. Wow, it's even on the kind of. What's that called? I can't remember. But the bit where he holds his sword, he's even got little spikes on there. So it's actually spiking him while he's holding it. Quite interesting. Wonder what that's all about. Oh shit, this is one of Void's, I guess. I don't know what to call them. Where he kind of transports the attack. Again, this was really well done in the anime movie, in my opinion. It's the only time I've ever seen this, but I love this this scene in that movie. And he blocks his own fucking sword with his shield. Here it is. Here's the good shot of it. Oh, so that's interesting. In the movie, I think it was actually behind him, wasn't it? I think he like struck forward and then ended up behind him, and he kind of shielded himself behind him. I think so. That's slightly different there. Still just as cool. But damn, that's a sick shot. And that's where we're ending off. After, like, nice way to end off, to be honest. A nice way to end off after all that. Afterglow of the right eye. And I will say that I think actually the eye moment was actually a bit better done in the anime. I think just in general, because again it is animated and it moves and it flows. Not saying that this manga doesn't move and flow. Again, it's very good at that. But because it obviously animation is a lot more liquid. I think the eye moment with Guts was actually a bit better in the anime. It felt it a little bit more. In this, it was just that kind of don't want to do too much more censoring. I think that's good. It was just this, wasn't it? It was more poetic, and it was actually more well done in terms of the kind of emotion of it, more than anything, about losing that eye. And the last thing he sees is this. I think it was much better done in that way, but in terms of the painfulness of it, it was better done in the anime. But now I actually think about that, it probably was actually better done here, because we've had enough of that. We've had enough of that pain and sadness and depression and horribleness and again, most pain and brutalness. We've had enough of that. We've seen a lot of that, so it was actually better done here, in my opinion, then, because it actually brought a different kind of level to that, if you know what I'm saying, about the last thing you see being this out of that eyeball. But yeah, hell of a couple chapters. Again, apologies, I couldn't really stomach seeing some of the panels for too long, but that is the kind of brunt of it, and that is almost pretty much the Eclipse finished now. So yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. If you guys could watch, again, I'm really not mad if you guys kind of skipped. Like I said, most of this is going to be censored anyway, so you wouldn't have seen any of it, but again, I wouldn't be too mad if you kind of skipped over some of the portions, if you're kind of reading it on a kind of separate device or anything, as well, because I can very much understand. I will not ever be reading well, I probably will read these chapters again if I do go back to it, but I won't ever be spending more than a couple seconds on some of these pages. But yeah, absolutely awesome. Again, so fucking brutal. Some of the art, as usual, just absolutely immense. Some of the detail in the arm getting ripped off, for example. I love the way we ended off here with Skull Knight, bringing at least a little bit of like hope and taking a little bit of darkness away, as we saw with that shot of him kind of flying through the air and breaking through the moon, taking a little bit of the darkness of this situation away, trying to help us out. But yeah, it looks like in the next episode of my reactions to this, it will pretty much be all but over in this kind of dimension anyway. So very much looking forward to that. Do let me know what you guys thought about these couple chapters down in the comment section. Again, I did think that this manga brought a kind of new level to a lot of the scenes in this. Like I just said about the eye scene, a lot of that in the anime was just this kind of brutality for the sake of like brutality, and this kind of ruthless, kind of disgusting behavior. Whereas it kind of had a new element to it. Well, I say a new element, this is actually the source material, a different kind of element towards that scene and a few other scenes as well, towards that eye being like taken out. There was a different meaning behind it, rather than just losing an eye for Guts and getting even more brutalized. Here it was the kind of last thing he saw with that eye, and what that kind of means to him now, that the last thing he ever will see with that eye is the woman he loves getting absolutely fucking brutalized. So which is much more painful than just the eye being taken out, which again just says quite a lot. But yeah, there's plenty of different dynamics like that in this manga, to be honest with you. But yeah, again, let me know what you guys thought about these couple down in the comment section. A bit of a longer video than usual today, as expected, for these couple chapters. Probably going to take a hell of a long time to censor it all. So yeah, got to work hard on that after this. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Again, let me know what you guys thought about these down in the comment section. Leave a like on the video if you guys did like, and subscribe to the channel if you do want to keep up to date with these reactions. I should be back on Friday with I cannot remember, but I'm not going to go back. Actually, try and go back quickly. I don't want to have to do any more censoring than I need to. Okay, I'll be quick on this. Nice, good job, me. Good job, me. We'll be back with Escape and Awakening to a Nightmare. So yeah, hopefully you can join me there. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys.